Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now. For roadtoruhr.com. I have been without internet for a while. I was up having some wine in the middle of nowhere and no internet connection. Got home and my internet was out at home. There is so much going on. It is the September to remember. They're slamming the price down of silver below the moving averages. Same old shit every day. The criminals within the United States of America. You know, they didn't do it yesterday, where yesterday was a holiday in the United States. Just shows you who has the power. The United States of America riggers have more power than any other country. These are the guys who invented computer program rigging, invented the electronic banking system. They have total power. Now the U.S. is losing this battle badly on every front. The economic battle, you name it, there is not an area where the United States is not losing ground. And it's embarrassing, but it is required to make the shift over to something new, given that the United States has the power to end the entire financial system with a click of a mouse. Keep that in mind when you look at your 401k statement or your bank statement. A click of a mouse and it would all be gone. Poof. Really exciting stuff happening at the Mint. One day, this is one day. In one day, the U.S. Mint made 717,000 ounces of silver. Now, in February, March, and April, they could only make 900,000 in an entire month. What changed in the silver market? What changed at the U.S. Mint? What changed anywhere in the world when it comes to silver? The U.S. Mint has been called out and said, you are a fraud, you are a criminal, you are beyond corrupt. And now I believe the trickle-down theory of that kind of pressure is actually forcing them to do their damn job. I'm still looking for people to go to jail for what they did. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to roadtoruhr.com. Listen to my 3-part interview with the head of Silver Eagle Sales, Jack Sermon, where he admits to five illegal maneuvers that the U.S. Mint is partaking in, or was. And as you can tell, right after this interview, the interview was in May, all of a sudden everything changed at the Mint. Last month, they did one of the, literally, it's been years since they'd made production to meet demand. Last month, they made 3 million eagles, 3,124,000 eagles. And they were all swooped up because the premiums have come way down. Silver Eagles are my favorite coin. They should be the best-selling coin in the world, but they were taken over in the last couple of years by the Perth, or not the Perth Mint, but almost the Perth Mint, by the Royal Canadian Mint with the maple leaves. That's 100% the fault of the Treasury Department of the United States of America telling their sales department not to sell Silver Eagles. This is insane. And playing with the hedge book to rig the prices lower. This is the United States of America. You play games like that, you should go to jail. Ventress Gibson, the head of the U.S. Mint. Janet Yellen, her boss. Wally Ademo, who really runs the show. The Undersecretary of the Treasury, or whatever they call him, Vice Treasury. I don't even know what his new name is. Look into Wally Ademo. Anyway, it looks like the U.S. Mint all of a sudden said, hey, look, we have 10 other minting machines that aren't working. Let's turn them all on. And why don't we make some U.S. Silver Eagles? In one day, they sold 717,000. We could have the largest month in Silver Eagle history. So somebody came down, the good guys, I suspect, came down on the head of Ventress Gibson and said, what in the hell are you doing? This is an un-American thing that you are doing. The whole reason to set up the American Eagle program in 1986, 1987 was that the U.S. population can get their hands on real money within the United States before this thing falls apart. Yes, it is constitutional money. It is value as $1 U.S. dollar, not a Federal Reserve note. $1 U.S. dollar in your pocket. You should have a lot of them. You should be getting more. It is my favorite coin because, well, I also like the pre-65 coinage when you can get it at a decent price. You used to be able to get it for about spot believe it or not. At one time, even below spot, which is crazy. It's the easiest to use. It's recognizable. And oh, by the way, it's hard to counterfeit. And the counterfeiting laws are so much more powerful than the just fraud laws. You could take fake a silver bar, no problem. Put molybdenum in it. That's why I'm not a fan of 100-ounce bars. 10-ounce, it takes some effort, and it's not really worth it in silver and 10-ounce bars. And gold, yeah. We're coming to a time where everybody's going to question what they have in their pocket. And as I've talked about at the U.S. Mint, the U.S. has developed with Honeywell a way to identify every single coin that they make and put it on the blockchain, which gives you the ability to sell little pieces of your silver without the silver moving from a U.S. vault. It would have to be a vault within the United States of American government, unfortunately. Now, we need a new government, obviously. But silver and gold coinage won't really take place until after the crash, after the destruction of the unbacked fiat monetary system, which could come any day, by the way. Yeah, I'm looking at September to be a gigantic month as far as silver. And it looks like it. I mean, the first day, 717,000 silver eagles were made. It took 1, 2, 3 months in February, March, and April, all things being the same, which they are. There is nothing that has changed about the silver market between February, March, April, May for years. Nothing changes in silver except the market rigging and the assistance by the U.S. Treasury to rig the market in the price of silver by stopping the sale of silver eagles and by using their hedge book against the people of America. They lost $112 million in their hedge book in 2021, a year that the price of silver went down. And it's good. They go by the fiscal year, by the way. So it's kind of hard to tell, but if you're on the road to root, I've showed you the spreadsheets. Keep an eye on silver eagles and keep the pressure on the U.S. Mint. So yeah, just more of the same con game. You need physical silver in your own possession. Everybody's screaming that now, and I got more on that. Speaking of that, I've been out the internet, so I was going to make today the last day for the Silver Eagle or the Road to Ruta giveaway silver coin. And then we're going to move on to a crypto. And you guys are going to like the crypto as well. But, yes. So, since I was out today, we're going to make tomorrow the last day. Wednesday the 6th is going to be the last day of the Ruta Lives coin that we're giving out with a private road membership or renewal. So if you want to renew, go for it. And then we're going to move on to a crypto. And it's an important crypto if you ask me. But, so, yeah, tomorrow night, Wednesday night, the 6th, is the last day to get your Ruta Lives coin. Yes, I do think this coin will pay for the membership time and time again over the years. Where are we? Look, they're gunning right for it. 200-day moving average. Gee, Bix, how did you know that? Because they've done it every time in history. The only difference now is that the big four, the massive guys, are getting out and letting the little guys do it, all coordinated by the U.S. Treasury. And I'll show you who they are. First of all, exchange for physical for last month was huge. This is where you buy a contract on the Comex that's rigged, and then you send it over to the LBMA for delivery of the physical silver. Let me show you how rigged. Harvey Oregon site. There it is. August had 171 million ounces transferred from the Comex over to the LBMA for delivery. Put that in context, the largest delivery month in history at the Comex silver has been about 80 to 85 million ounces. That was a while ago. 170 more than double that amount that last month went over to England for delivery. Comex contracts bought on the Comex for the Comex price, transferred over to London for delivery. Yes, there are big things happening every day. Okay, let's talk about who, what, where, and why. So there is some activity still on the Comex. And, of course, J.P. Morgan controls it all still, even though they're in a big timeout. Now, their timeout, their 3-year deferred prosecution agreement for rigging the price of silver, gold, and U.S. Treasuries expires on September 25th. That's when their timeout is over, and they can go back to the criminal activity that they're so good at. Will they survive between now and then? I hope not. Truthfully, all this stuff come out about Jamie Dimon and the board of directors of J.P. Morgan being knee-deep and, quote, in bed with, what's his face? Now you made me forget his name. The criminal pedo guy. Jeffrey Epstein. Completely. J.P. Morgan was the number one bank. By the way, J.P. Morgan was also the number one bank for the Bernie Madoff fraud. And it wasn't a $50 billion fraud. It was more like $500 billion. Yes, Madoff had a computer trading floor below his regular office. It wasn't just it's just a family thing where they're, Ponzi scheming it. No, so much bigger. So much bigger. And who was the only banker to oversee that fraud? Jamie Dimon and J.P. Morgan. It is shocking that this bank and this management is still in a position where they can ruin the United States of America. And they have ruined it. They have destroyed our country. Jamie Dimon wants to run for president, for Christ's sake. We need to put them all in jail, my friends. Anyway, J.P. Morgan, out of the house account. Now, they haven't done barely anything in the past 3 years because they weren't supposed to. They weren't supposed to rig the markets. Out of their house account, 997 contracts. That's 5 million ounces. And then who took it? The Jamie Dimon customers. Now, don't even tell me that the customers and J.P. Morgan aren't colluding together to help rig the price of silver. Look at Jamie Dimon's customers. The entire year had, out of anybody, massively more action than anybody else in the entire silver market. You could say that J.P. Morgan and its, quote, customers control the entire market by far. And I would add Virtu Financial, Vinny Viola, who runs the computer trading desk for Virtu Financial, which is what Jamie Dimon and the bad guys use to rig the prices. I hope this all makes sense to you. But this is falling apart. These are the people who need to go to jail. I just read something that it blew my socks off, and it should blow your socks off. We've all heard, when the silver survey came out, the Silver Institute said, oh my God, last year, solar panels really took a dent out of silver. There's a massive shortfall, blah, blah, blah. But we think, in the silver survey, if you look at it, it was up, they're estimating for 2022, it was up 28%. 28%, that's a hell of a lot, right? In 1 year, that's an extra 30 million ounces. So this year, they said, no, it will only be up 15%. What? And I if you remember, I was screaming about that. How's it go from up 30% to back down to normal levels? And it's not. It's not. The first quarter numbers are baked into the cake, and the second quarter, and it is exploding higher, 47% higher for the U.S. market. Solar accounted for 54% of all new electricity generated capacity added to the U.S. grid. Florida was the top-ranking solar market for 2023. 72% more solar than the second-ranked state. Let's see. 30% increase in residential. Commercial solar up 27%. Community solar installed 13% less than first quarter 2022 and 45%. That's the community solar. Volumes declined in several northeastern states. Utility scale segment, that's the big ones, right? Represented 66% of the growth first quarter 2022. Over the course of our 5-year outlook. Now listen to this. So right now, silver is, last year, consumed 160 million ounces, right? That's a massive amount of silver considering they only mine, 800, 850, 850? That's massive. But look what they're saying. Over the course of our 5-year outlook, the U.S. solar industry is expected to nearly triple in size and will add 236 gigawatt DC, whatever that is, um, compared to 142. Solar will be the leading technology, blah, blah, blah. More than triple. Okay, so let's go over here to our supply and demand from the Silver Institute. Let's just say that U.S. more than triples. Or everybody more than triples. China's, I think, doing it even a bigger pace. So that's triple 161. That's like 500. 500 million ounces of silver by 2028 in the next 5 years. 500 million ounces. Where's 500 million ounces going to come from? It's just stupid. Anybody who doesn't understand this is just got to, as my dad used to say, what do you got, a fart for a brain? That was one of his greatest comments. He had many good ones. But you did something stupid. He said, what do you got, a fart for a brain? If you don't see what's happening in silver, you got a fart for a brain. You can tell all your friends who like give you shit about investing in silver. Just say, hey, Bix's dad said you got a fart for a brain. I mean, so all this, so you got 500 million ounces going into solar. Does that mean we're going to junk all the electric cars? Yeah, we might. How about junking all the cell phones? How about junking all the flat screen TVs? How about junking all the silverware and photography and soldering and everything electronic uses silver? Just forget it. It all has to go into solar panels. We'll be walking around town without a car and we'll like it, as Klaus Schwab would say, because everything has to be used for solar panels. Look at mine supply over the last 10 years. 880 million ounces, 896, 899, 863, 850, 836, 782, 827, 822. Mine supply doesn't even move. It doesn't waver hardly at all, nor does recycling. 160, 146, 145, 147, 148, 148, 160, 175, 180. Where are they going to get 500 million ounces of silver? And how could it happen at the same price? It's easy. It's a click of a mouse on the Comex. And then you have your criminal regulators. Rustin Benham of the CFTC, the number one regulator of silver in the United States, said, we had to tamp down the price of silver. How'd you do that? You went to the mint and you said, hey, you can't close out your silver hedges when you sell your silver. As a matter of fact, put more shorts on, take the biggest loss as you can, and then mark up your coins double, triple on your gold and silver numismatic coins to cover it. That's what happens. That's what happens in this insane world. So yeah, total demand this year is going to go up, I would say, another 50 million ounces this year, another 100 million ounces next year, another 200 million ounces the year after. And by the way, that means there's no increase in people as the price of silver's funny. And investors are funny. Investors only invest in things that go up. As they're going up, that's when they buy them. They only sell them when they're about to crash. So silver has been held down since at least 1980. I would say since 1850. So it wasn't allowed to go up, so people can't get excited about it. If you were around in the 1980s, I barely remember this going on. When silver went from like $10 to $50, everybody and their mother was trying to get silver. Everybody was. And they say that's when most of the silverware was melted down. Most of the silver serving sets of teacups and all that, or tea kettles, all that shit, got melted down. So there's not much of that left. Where are they going to get the silver? Where are they going to get the silver to fulfill the Green New Deal? These people are just so stupid. They got farts for a brain. I would say that would be a compliment on Joe Biden's case. But anyway, yeah. Second quarter's, from what I'm hearing, is just as big. And let me show you a graph of what they're projecting. Look at that. Already, like 2022, we were way short silver, and that's down here. Now they want to go way up here. Where are they going to get the silver? They're not. And by the way, David Morgan came out and said the new solar panels are not actually using less silver. They're creating more generation, but they're using more silver because they know that silver's the best conductor of electricity, and the new types of solar panels are much more efficient, generate much more electricity, but they use much more silver. I hope this sinks into everybody. If you haven't studied this chart from the Silver Institute, the Silver Survey, most people, serious silver investors, look at these guys and say you're a joke. But they're the only ones we have. It's either this or Jeffrey Christian. You know my take on that. All right, very exciting things coming up in 2 days. So on Thursday, September 7th, 10:30 in the morning, we have the quarterly banking profile where the FDIC has to show you just how many banks are insolvent now. They call them assets held for sale that are underwater. It's going to get really beyond ugly. My guess is well over the $600 billion that we saw last December, which caused the banking turmoil in the first quarter of last year. I think this will be an eye-opener for anybody who thinks that these banks are solvent at all. And they are not. The rise in interest rates has gutted most banks in the United States of America and around the world with no way out. So they're going to keep raising rates too, which is crazy. Quick on people have been emailing me. What do I do? What do I do? Theta Labs has announced that Theta TV is closing up. Theta TV was a network TV, streamable TV channel, kind of like YouTube, but it wasn't. It was set up as a test network for Theta. As a Theta API and all this stuff, it was always a test network. There weren't that many people on it, but it was great for testing all their different products for the Theta network, which is huge. Theta was never going to supplant YouTube. It wasn't even competing with YouTube. And they said it a million times. I said it a million times, but nobody would listen. So they're shutting that down. So if you have any Theta fuel on Theta.tv, transferred over to Theta Drop, which is their NFT platform. Okay? Not a big deal. Most people don't have any Theta fuel on. But if you earn some Theta fuel by posting some videos on Theta TV, you want to... I said to do this back in 2021, I think it was, when Theta Drop first started. So move your coins because they're going to shut it down, I think, the 19th of September. Yeah, Tuesday the 19th. All right? Not a big deal. Don't freak out. They're keeping Theta TV. It's a great test network for all the different things that Theta is doing. Theta is building the rail infrastructure of Web 3.0. The future of everything. AI and Theta are going to go like this together. Decentralized AI, Theta. Holy crap. It's so much bigger than even I understand it. Most people even understand. And they have all the patents they need, especially for digital rights. Every media company is going to come begging to Theta. So go check that out. If you have any Theta, if you have any T-Drop on Theta TV, now's the time to send it over to the T-Drop channel. The Theta Drop. Just go to Theta and let's see where we are. Is this yeah, it's got all the information there. Go to thetatoken.org for more information. All right. I just wanted to mention it because everybody's saying, does this mean anything? I said, no. It was always just a test channel for Theta. All right. Yes, and Theta is still my number one choice for cryptos by far, especially at 60 cents or whatever it is. By far, number one choice. Interesting that the Ukraine's trying to get us to go to war with Russia. First of all, they want to steal our money. Second of all, they want to steal our kids. We all know about that. Third of all, they've been making these crazy bioweapons in the Ukraine, and now they want to take us to war. If there's anybody we should be going to war with, it's the criminals that are running this show. In the U.S., in the Ukraine, in Europe. These are bad people. These are the bad guys. Those are the ones we need to take out. No, we are not going to join in with NATO and declare war on Russia. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. mainly because Russia and China would kick our ass. Just lob a couple of nukes over here and it's like, oh, I can't believe they hurt me after we tried to destroy them. It is a crazy world out there. Nothing is real anymore, too. No matter what site you read, nothing is real. No matter what station you listen to, no matter if you're on the left or the right or in the middle, nothing is real. The only thing that's real is in what's your pocket. In your pocket, that's real. If you have physical metal in your pocket, it's real. If you have cryptos in your pocket, secured on your own being, it is real. If nobody can get to your stuff, that's all that's going to matter to you. All right. That's what I got. As Jenny said, when the problem with the kids is taken care of, silver will be allowed to run free. Big part of it is this the pedophilia in Washington. You're hearing a lot about it these days. Here's something out on Barack Obama's Tucker Carlson exposing Barack Obama's. We've heard this for years, but nobody wants to even talk about it or think about it. People are just brain dead. Fart for a brain, as Dad would say. Check this out.
Just a guy who's in town for the night, and it sounds like you're looking to party.
Yeah, pulled up in a bar outside, and there's this guy that's introduced to me as Barack Obama. I had given Barack $250 to pay for coke. I start putting a line on a CD tray to snort, and next thing I know, he's got a little pipe and he's smoking. So I just started rubbing my hand along his thigh to see where it was going, and it went the direction I had intended it to go.
Even though you had sex with him twice, you did cocaine with him, watched him smoke crack twice, you had no idea who he was.
I had no idea who he was.
You just asked the obvious question. What was Obama like on crack? Is it your sense that that's who Obama is, just transactional, or that he's bisexual, or like what is this?
So this is just part of the whole thing. All these secrets coming to be revealed. Secrets revealed, as Cliff calls them. So be ready. Be ready, my friends. It's going to get crazy. Again, last chance to get the Ruta Lives coin for a private road subscription. Go check it out. Go to roadtoruta.com. Click on the private road. Show you how to get it. 2 more days. Wednesday is the cutoff at midnight. And then we're giving a crypto that you guys will love. So do you want crypto more or do you want silver? Take your choice. This is Bix. I'll talk to you guys later.